What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here for NXT on Off The Script. This is the review for November 13th, 2019. And what a show it was last night, man. Great Cruiserweight Championship match between Lio Rush and Angel Garza to open the show, which, again, I mentioned last week that I honestly think both of those guys should definitely get the stage at TakeOver, and I hope after what happened in this match, we definitely get them on TakeOver Survivor Series weekend. I think both guys would kill it, and I think both guys absolutely deserve to shine on that stage. They had a great match. Mia Yim, the talk of NXT last night. I have not been the biggest fan of Mia Yim at all. I don't know what it was. It was maybe a character problem. I wasn't invested in what Mia Yim was portraying herself to be. I didn't really like the direction of her character. It just seemed to be missing something. And after last night's NXT episode, my respect for Mia Yim is absolutely through the roof. The woman is absolutely out of her mind. She killed herself in a ladder match just for the simple sake of her team getting first dibs at WarGames next Saturday night. Crazy ladder match. Don't take anything away from Io Shirai either. You put both women who are that hungry and will risk anything to put on a great match. That's exactly what you're going to get. Unbelievable stuff from both women. And again, it goes to show you that the women of NXT have always done things correctly, and that the main roster women are several steps behind and have always been several steps behind. Awesome night for the women, which was pretty much built around someone, this mystery assailant, attacking NXT's women, especially the babyface team going into WarGames. And at the end of the night, it was not so much about WarGames. It was more about revenge as to who was attacking the NXT women's locker room. And obviously, you guys, if you watched NXT last night, you know who has been the odd woman out when it comes to the Women's Survivor Series triple threat match. So we'll talk about that as well. And the men's WarGames match is finally set, except for one missing piece. I don't have any idea who's going to join Ciampa, Keith Lee, and Dominik Dijakovic on that team. And it was supposed to be Matt Riddle. And they actually took him out of the match for a singles match against Finn Balor. Take my money. You can't go wrong in either situation. Now, it was supposed to be Johnny Gargano and Finn Balor. And Matt Riddle was supposed to be in the WarGames match. Now, Johnny Gargano can't go because he's got a legit head injury. And now it's going to be Balor and Riddle with a mystery partner joining Ciampa, Keith Lee, and Dominik Dijakovic. I don't know who that's going to be. You can comb up and down the roster and give me your best bets as to who's going to join the babyface team to go against the Undisputed Era. And my only issue is, I was thinking about this. I love the interaction between both teams going into WarGames. I'm worried about two things going into WarGames. One, how are they going to outdo themselves from previous WarGames matches? This is the Undisputed Era's third WarGames match. And you all know that they're going to be competing the very next night at Survivor Series. And those are big-time matches for them. That is going to be used to pretty much showcase who they are, what they could do in front of the right people. The people ultimately that matter. It's either sink or swim. Now, we know that they're going to do great, but are they going to be capable of giving us 100% after being in a WarGames match just the night before? And, again, like I said, how are they going to outdo themselves? Which, to me, it's going to be a pretty difficult thing to outdo yourself in a WarGames match when, realistically, in the first two matches, we've seen almost everything that those guys could possibly do in that type of environment. This was an awesome show tonight. We're going to go over everything heading into WarGames next Saturday. It's going to be great. Thank you guys so much for joining me here on the podcast. If you missed what was, I thought, a great Dynamite episode, a great Dynamite review. MJF and Chris Jericho absolutely tore it down live on television last night. One of the best back and forth promos that you'll see all year in professional wrestling. Dynamite reviews live on the channel, along with Off the Script Elite number 7 on Tuesday. And what's that show called on Monday? Man, I can't really come up with the name, man. I'm drawing a blank. Garbage on Monday. Go check that out on Monday as well. You guys know what I'm talking about. And then this coming weekend, Off the Script, episode 300. I don't have anything big planned, but man, what a 300 episode this is going to be. CM Punk. We're going to be talking about CM Punk. Is he back? Yeah, he's back, but with Fox. We're going to talk about it, and I'm going to give you my opinion on that, because I know you've been waiting for my opinion on CM Punk being back in pro wrestling, but I have to let all these goons on social media know one thing. Yeah, he's back, and yeah, this is step one. But don't start jumping to conclusions. Don't start booking WrestleMania matches. Don't go out there and fantasize about who you want to see CM Punk in the ring with. Don't start clickbaiting like I see everybody doing, and I've called everybody out on it already. Have some fucking dignity, and we'll talk about it on, I think I'm going to upload it on Friday. I think I'm going to upload Off the Script 300 on Friday right before SmackDown. So I'll let you guys know. Just follow me on social media, which it's a nice lead-in. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206. That's on Twitter and Instagram. I would appreciate you guys do that. We are nearing 30,000 followers on Twitter. So thank you guys so very much for that. Make sure you guys check out all the other content that you might have missed down below in the description of this very video. Easy access for you guys. Links are right there. So just click and it'll take you right to the video. If you guys want to support the podcast via Patreon, patreon.com/JD from NY206. I would greatly appreciate that if you guys check that out as well. And the podcast today is brought to you by Audible. You guys know the deal. audibletrial.com/offthescript. Over 200,000 choices to choose from, a lot of which are sports and wrestling related. It doesn't have to be those genres. They got so much to choose from. You guys use our link, sign up. You're going to get 30 days free. A free audiobook is coming to you, absolutely no charge, just for signing up. And I've been pushing the new Kane book, man. Mayor Kane, My Life in Wrestling and Politics, a new autobiography from Glenn Jacobs, almost 8 hours long of Glenn Jacobs himself narrating this audiobook. You guys can actually pre-order that and get it for free, which is going to be a $30 retail value when it releases in a couple of weeks. You guys can get that for free using our unique link, audibletrial.com/offthescript. And if you guys don't like the service, but you want something for free, you feel like Audible's not for you, you guys can cancel anytime in that 30 days and still get to keep your audiobook for free. Guys, it's a great way to get something for free. It's a great way to help the podcast out. audibletrial.com/offthescript. It's amazing, man. When Lio Rush came back to NXT, and the Cruiserweight Championship was renamed the NXT Cruiserweight Championship, and he beat Drew Gulak for that title, which was a great match in its own right. Everybody was so happy to see Lio Rush back in the environment in which he should have never left, honestly. This is where he belonged. I honestly think he got fucked up on the main roster, and that whole pairing with Bobby Lashley just did him wrong. In fact, I actually thought it brought him down several notches. It did nothing for him. It did nothing for Lashley. So it was a complete waste of time. He was so beloved when he came back. Everybody was excited to see him. Everybody was excited for him when he won the Cruiserweight Championship. He was back after 6 months being away and having what was attitude issues backstage and kind of being the black sheep of the WWE locker room. He seemed to mature over the last 6 months and find his own way and just make things right. WWE obviously seen the potential in him, and they gave him another opportunity. Triple H seeing the opportunity or the talent in him to give him another opportunity. Thus, he is the Cruiserweight Champion. Just as quickly as everybody was excited for Lio Rush winning the Cruiserweight Championship, in comes Angel Garza. And by the end of this match, where everybody should have been on Lio Rush's side. Lio Rush retained the Cruiserweight Championship in what was a fuck finish, but at the end of the match, while he retained, everybody wanted Angel Garza to win the Cruiserweight Championship, and Lio Rush, as he posed with the championship on the stage after the fuck finish, was legitimately booed. And there was more cheers for Angel Garza than there were for Lio Rush. Now, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that says about the Full Sail crowd. I don't know why anybody would boo Lio Rush. I mean, I think the guy is absolutely phenomenal in the ring. I've always thought that. But Angel Garza, it goes to show you, and it's a true testament to how great we've all been saying Angel Garza is. He's got the charisma, he's got the attitude, he's got a fantastic look, and he's just got that certain cockiness to him that is almost downright infectious. Now, he comes off as a heel, but I don't understand how you could legitimately look at this guy and boo him. He's fucking great. And at the end of the night, Angel Garza is now the guy everybody wants to be the Cruiserweight Champion. It's a case of either the fans being fickle or Angel Garza is just that damn good. Might be a mixture of both. But this was an absolutely fantastic open to NXT. Now, Lio Rush came out and he went right over to his wife. And she was sitting front row with their 2 children, and he kissed his wife for good luck before the match. That definitely is something I had to mention because it obviously was going to come into play, being that Angel Garza is a playboy. So, in the beginning of the match, we had them go back and forth. Garza offered a handshake. Now, if you guys remember last week, Lio Rush came out and offered a handshake, and Garza, like a prick, slapped him in the face and walked away smiling. I loved it. So Lio Rush stood there smiling and said, "Okay, I'll see you next week." So Garza went to offer a handshake, and Lio Rush obviously did not bite. And Garza went to go slap him again, but Lio Rush knew it was coming. So Garza swung, he missed with a slap. We see some back and forth. Garza then quickly exited the ring, and he walked all the way over to Lio Rush's wife on purpose. And normally it takes him a little bit of time to unzip his outer pants that, you know, he doesn't wrestle in. He's got this gimmick where he unzips his pants and then he reveals his real wrestling trunks. Comes out wearing these long wrestling pants. Instead of doing it in the ring to taunt Lio Rush, this is why Angel Garza is an absolute fucking star. He goes over to Lio Rush's wife, jumps the barricade in front of Lio Rush's wife and his children, takes his pants off, and drops them right in front of Lio Rush's wife. One of the best moments on Wednesday night last night. Absolutely fantastic. I mean, if there's one thing that you don't do, actually, if there's one thing you don't do and there's one thing you should do to bring an intensity that we all love to a wrestling match, then you do that. But if it's one thing you shouldn't do, is fuck with somebody else's wife. So I thought this was fantastic. It just made the match better. So we had Lio Rush obviously take massive offense to this. This got him completely heated. Rush tossed Garza to the outside when Garza came back into the ring, hit a wrecking ball drop kick. He attempted a tope, but Garza caught him for a power slam on the outside, which looked pretty nasty. We go to commercial break. Back, we seen Rush on the defensive. Garza was working him over, and people were behind Lio Rush for the majority of this match. There were some people, obviously, for Angel Garza, but a lot of the people here still behind Lio Rush. Both guys were very slow to get up after Rush came back and started coming back in the match. Rush went up top. He got crotched by Garza. Garza followed up. He hit a moonsault power slam off the top rope. Unbelievable. Holy shit chants ringing out through Full Sail. Guys are so great. Both of these guys are just fantastic, man. And Lio Rush, if there's one thing about Lio Rush, you might not like him. He might not be everybody's cup of coffee. He might be too acrobatic for you. The guy is absolutely crisp in the ring. Everything he does is just so beautiful. And Garza's right there with him. Garza stomped Rush in the ring, frustrated because he kicked out. He started kicking him frantically. So he went off the ropes, and he got hit by a Spanish fly. Lio Rush is just out of nowhere Spanish fly, always beautiful. Spinning heel kick by Rush. He yelled at Garza to get up, and then he hit the come up, which is his springboard bottom rope stunner. He got it on Garza. He went for another one. Garza blocked it this time, and Garza caught him in the wing clipper. So that was possibly the ending of the match. And the commentary played it off as if it was the ending of the match. He hit the wing clipper. And you've seen Lio Rush trying to frantically get out of this thing. Garza hits it, and he kicked out. Unbelievably close near fall, and Lio Rush is still alive. So then, Garza, again frustrated. He pulls Lio Rush over to the corner and starts climbing the top rope with him in the wing clipper position. He tries to go and do a top rope wing clipper. Fans are chanting, "Please don't die." Rush counters this with some headbutts. They start headbutting each other. And then, being that they knocked each other out, Lio Rush falls back, almost in a tree of woe. So, he falls back, and as he's falling back, he hurricanranas Garza off the top rope. Rush went up. He goes for the final hour, split-legged frog splash. He hits it, and Rush could not believe that Garza kicked out. So at this point, you've seen the frustration on Rush's face. It was almost as if he wanted to cry because he didn't know what he has to do to put Garza away. Rush went up, hit another final hour. Garza got a leg on the bottom rope. Ref did not see it. He was out of position. Counted the 3 anyway. Lio Rush retains. Garza was complaining to the crowd. You seen it. My foot was on the rope. And that was it. Lio Rush wins an absolutely incredible Cruiserweight Championship match. And this is not the end for these two. There was no way you were going to have Angel Garza win a number 1 contenders match and then get a championship match just like that with Lio Rush and then not have it continue. Just based off the foundation of what these guys you knew were going to do in the ring together. So, I don't know how this is going to work out. This is obviously benefiting Garza more than it is Lio Rush, because right now Lio Rush is in a position where, yeah, he's still a fan favorite, but I think Angel Garza is in a position right now to be the overwhelming favorite in this feud to walk out as the new Cruiserweight champion. And Triple H, if he starts to hear that, I don't think he would be too scared to put the title on Angel Garza. I think he would actually listen to the fans in this case. And with the body of work that Angel Garza has done in such a short amount of time, I honestly think giving him the championship would actually be a good thing. Lio Rush, he's 25 years old. How many more Cruiserweight Championship matches, title runs is the guy going to have? Plenty. If this is an ongoing feud that's going to last a couple of years with these two guys in NXT, then by all means, it's all right to give the title to Garza. I'm good with that. The guy's obviously proven that he's worth it. I don't mind it at all. Now, what do you do here? WarGames is looking pretty thin. You got the 2 WarGames matches, and then you got Matt Riddle versus Finn Balor that was announced on tonight's show. Outside that, what else is on the show? Most of your roster is being taken up in those 2 WarGames matches. Balor was supposed to be against Gargano. Riddle is now in for Gargano against Balor. What else are you going to have on that show? I would absolutely put this rematch of Lio Rush and Angel Garza on TakeOver in Chicago and let those guys shine in Chicago on that stage. And then I would do the title change. That's what I would do. I hope that they get that. I think they both deserve it. I think that crowd would absolutely eat it up. And give them, they want 13 minutes here. Give them another 10 minutes to let them just go out there and create an epic and show us that the Cruiserweight Championship is more than what Vince McMahon thought of 205 Live. I think it would be fantastic. Xia Li and Aaliyah. That was the next match. Before we got to the women's match, we've seen Tegan Nox, Rhea Ripley outside, and they were both laid out by an unseen entity. Now, we don't know who this was. Now, I don't know how this person knocked out both Tegan Nox and Rhea Ripley, or what was the item of choice that they got knocked out with. They were just shown. You had Rhea Ripley laying against a fucking fence backstage outside. She was laid out. And then Tegan Nox was holding her arm. She was crying to WWE officials outside. Nobody knew what was going on. So it was a situation that was escalating pretty quickly. But this was 2 casualties right at the beginning of the show by an unnamed entity. We don't know who it is at this point, but obviously they are attacking the WarGames team. It might have been somebody on Shayna's team, just trying to get retribution or take out the team that they are challenging at WarGames a little early. Maybe it was Dakota Kai. Everybody said maybe it's Dakota Kai because she's jealous that she didn't get on Rhea Ripley's team. That was something that if you brought that to my attention, I would have been like, you're probably right. You're probably right. A lot of people thought that Dakota Kai was turning heel last week after her shady attitude. So this was a developing situation earlier in the show. Xia Li and Aaliyah. Don't really know why this was happening. This was nothing more than filler. But try saying that to Aaliyah, and she'll probably slap you upside the head. She got blasted. This was sloppy, number one, but she got blasted with a roundhouse kick, and she could not avoid it. This one hit her right in the face. Don't know what part of Xia Li's boot hit Aaliyah, but she went down, and she made the cover, and I swear to God, before the cover was even fucking official, the 3 count was official, you seen a medical doctor come out and immediately jump into the ring, as if they knew immediately that something was fucked up. So he jumped into the ring. They brought towels and cloths. There was officials there. He jumped into the ring. She was literally hiding her face in this towel, and all you seen was red blood in the towel. I don't know if she broke her nose. I don't know what happened there, but she was legitimately hurt. Xia Li, she was very stiff in this match, to be honest with you. I honestly think, first of all, Aaliyah is not good. Not good at all. I don't know why they continue putting her on television. It's almost as if she's regressing. She's not progressing, she's regressing. She's getting worse every time we see her. But Xia Li, man, I honestly think she worked just a little bit too stiff in this match. For whatever reason. I don't know why. But Xia Li wins here in 2 minutes, and it was an obviously hard way botch here that busted open Aaliyah, which it looked like a broken nose. If I was to make a logical assumption, a broken nose there by Aaliyah, which sucks because it looked pretty bad. Finn Balor came out. He wasn't really ready to wrestle. He hasn't wrestled at all since joining NXT, but he will wrestle at TakeOver, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be a fucking classic. So we all expected Balor versus Gargano. Now, I'll talk about this some more on Off the Script this weekend, but it was reported by some fucking dweeb on WWE Backstage that Johnny Gargano will not be ready for Survivor Series weekend, that he is still recovering from head issues or head trauma due to Finn Balor, which I do believe was legitimate, because the way he gave Johnny Gargano the 1916 was absolutely devastating. Johnny Gargano got blasted on the ramp that night, and it looked ridiculous. And I'm not surprised that he's not wrestling at all at Survivor Series weekend. So, we expected this match to happen, TakeOver. It will happen. It will happen eventually. So, he grabbed the microphone and said, "This is it? This is NXT now. What happened to this place? To this business that I love? I used to be proud of this place. I built this place. But now it's a joke. That was the heart of NXT? Johnny Gargano? Still sore from something that happened 3 weeks ago?" Now, he dropped him on his fucking skull. It was ridiculous. So, I love that Finn Balor is just kind of living in this heel moment, but, I mean, any logical human being knows that you get hit with something like that in the manner that Johnny Gargano did, you're not going to be wrestling in 3 weeks. So, he says, "I built this place." He went on to say something about the roster not being tough enough and that they're on social media and all they do is complain and moan and criticize. And then don't get me started on Matt Riddle. Obviously, one goes with the other because Matt Riddle does a lot of complaining, a lot of bickering on social media. So he's begging someone to, and then Matt Riddle comes out. Matt Riddle comes out. Now Balor was in the dark. He had the spotlight on him. First of all, let me backtrack a little bit with Balor. When he did his entrance, he still did the arms in the air, but he doesn't do the underwear model shot anymore. You know, Kevin Dunne used to love that fucking slideways shot where Balor held onto the ropes and he had the fucking crotch shot. Balor in NXT is pointing the guns at the camera now. A little bit more adult-like in NXT, don't you think? So Matt Riddle comes out. He blasts Balor from behind. They start brawling. They brawl around the ring. Balor ran into the... Oh, actually, he didn't run into the crowd. Riddle kicked him into the crowd, and Balor ran away, backed away. And then he took a microphone by ringside, and he yelled to Balor, "Keep running, bro. You can't run forever, you little putz." I'm right here. Who uses the word putz? You can't run forever, you little bitch. A little bit more force in those promos, man, you little putz. Maybe it goes with who Matt Riddle is, but who uses the word putz in a situation where someone is talking shit about you? Come on. Make it a little bit more adult-like and realistic. So Undisputed Era comes out, and you got all four now circling the ring where Riddle is in the ring all by himself. Wrong place, wrong time, said Adam Cole. Tommaso Ciampa comes out. He brings Keith Lee to the ring with him. Cole stopped immediately when he heard Ciampa's music. Lee said, "We don't give a damn about you guys." So they all get into the ring with Matt Riddle. And he says, "Get your asses in the ring." So he says, "You don't want to get in?" Lee went on to say, "Yes, Cole, you beat Daniel Bryan and didn't back down from Seth Rollins. But right here, right now, are you going to stand up to me?" I think we need more microphone time from Keith Lee. When he's in this type of environment, I think Keith Lee is fucking awesome. So Roderick Strong then takes the microphone and says, Whoa, do you know who you're talking to? This is Adam Cole. He's had the most successful 2-week stretch in NXT. Okay, he's had a great 2-week stretch. That's going to overshine or overtake his run so far as NXT champion. He's had a great 2-week stretch. So he says he's had a very successful 2-week stretch. He deserves a break. If he wants a match, it has to be with me, says Strong. And Lee says, well, listen, I'm not that picky. And obviously he told Roderick Strong to get into the ring. Now we see referees come out, and that was pretty much it. Match got started after that. We got an impromptu match with Keith Lee and Roderick Strong. And this one went 20 minutes. 20 minutes in a non-title match before WarGames. So this one was pretty slow, and it built up towards the end. Lee picked up Strong in a fireman's carry. That got broken up, but Lee hit a huge knee, went for a cover, only got a 2 count. Lee brought Strong into the corner to the turnbuckle, took him up to the top rope. They were up top. They were going back and forth for position. Step up enziguri by Strong. He wanted a superplex on Lee, and he finally, after a couple attempts, hit a monster superplex. Keith Lee bounced off the mat legitimately. Strong rolled up Lee for a cover, only got a 2 count. Strong attempted to turn Lee over. He went for the stronghold. Lee launched him out of the stronghold. Both guys on their feet. Forearms back and forth between both guys. Enziguri by Strong. Running forearms that Roderick Strong typically does, running back and forth. But Lee stopped it with a lariat in mid-stride. When Roderick Strong was going for a forearm, he jumped off the ropes, hit a lariat. Both guys on the mat. Completely crazy. Full Sail loving it. Undisputed Era at this point comes out. And Matt Riddle and Tommaso Ciampa come out to say, nope, you ain't doing this again. So they come out. They tried to save Keith Lee. Finn Balor shows back up. And he has Sling Blade and a double stomp on the outside to Matt Riddle. Then he gets up and Balor drop kicks him, missile drop kicks him into the steel steps. So Balor took out Riddle. So at this point, Keith Lee was just looking at all this carnage on the outside. I'm like, oh no, please don't have Keith Lee succumb to the dumb babyface syndrome. Please. So he's looking at this. Roderick Strong from behind, hits a jumping knee to Lee, then a slam for a 2 count. Senton by Strong. Lee no-sold it, turned it into a jackhammer. That was it. Keith Lee pins the North American champion clean after all this chaos on the outside, and he beats Roderick Strong on NXT. Very good match, and it really sold not only the Balor Riddle match, but it sold the intensity of what should be a great match between Undisputed Era and Team Ciampa at WarGames. I thought this was great. I don't know who that mystery man is going to be. I genuinely don't know. Now, my first instinct would say Pete Dunne, being that he has a history with all those guys, but he's in the middle of this, Damian Priest and fucking Killian Dane thing. I don't know what's going on with that. I genuinely don't know. If they switched things up and did Riddle and Balor now, only for Johnny Gargano to come and make the save for his best friend, and he's just trolling everybody and is legitimately going to be ready for WarGames? I don't know. I don't think that's the case. I don't think WWE would really risk Johnny Gargano in that situation, which brings me to Ciampa. He's had 1 match, 2 matches maybe, back since injury. And putting him in that type of environment, that's something that I think a lot of people are going to be looking out for. What is he going to put himself through after coming back from such a serious injury to walk into that environment and ultimately put yourself at the highest risk of injury again in that type of match? That's something that people are going to be looking out for. I genuinely don't know who could be the 4th man on that team. It's going to be very interesting. So people, let me know what you guys think down below on who you think the 4th man in Team Ciampa is going to be. I don't know. Obviously, it's Keith Lee, it's Dominic Dijakovic, and Tommaso Ciampa. Who's the 4th man? I don't know. Sound off down below. So Undisputed Era attacked Keith Lee as soon as the match was over. They attacked Ciampa as soon as the match was over. Riddle was on the outside. He was taken out by Balor already. Dominic Dijakovic comes down to chants of Feast Your Eyes. He hits the ring and absolutely destroys all of the Undisputed Era. Double choke slam on both O'Reilly and Fish. Feast Your Eyes on Adam Cole. At the end of all this chaos, he goes over to Ciampa and says, I know you're going to war, and I'm in. So he extends his hand in friendship, and Tommaso Ciampa shakes his hand. So Dominic Dijakovic turns around. Keith Lee's up. Keith Lee is standing right there. Dominic Dijakovic and Keith Lee now face to face, and you guys know the wars they've been in, and Keith Lee extends his hand in friendship. So that's the team. It was originally supposed to be Ciampa, Riddle, Lee, Dijakovic. That's a solid fucking team right there. Excuse me. I'm not even editing that out because I had to fucking go and edit shit out, coughing left and right on the Dynamite review. Fuck it. I'm sick as a dog, motherfucker. You're lucky I'm even here. Anyway, that's a solid team right there. Now, Dijakovic was more than likely going to be in this match anyway. Now, with Riddle being put with Balor, obviously he's being put with Balor because Johnny Gargano was hurt. So obviously they switched it around. I don't know who the 4th man is going to be. I don't even have an inkling of an idea. I would say possibly Pete Dunne, being that he has history with the Undisputed Era, but he's mixed in with Damian Priest and Killian Dane. And I don't really know who they could possibly go out and get that would A, make sense, and B, who they even have on the roster that would legitimately fit into that role that would kind of weave himself into the Undisputed Era storyline. I don't know. It could be a brand new face that has absolutely nothing to do with anything, and it could be a star-making moment for someone new. Unpredictable. I don't know. So let me know what you guys think down below. Who do you think the 4th member of Team Ciampa is going to be at WarGames? Because I am very intrigued, and I honestly think that this match is going to be awesome. But like I said in the beginning, 2 things you got to worry about. 1, how are they going to make this match any different than the first 2 that we've seen with the Undisputed Era, being that they've been in the first 2 WarGames matches that NXT has produced. And the other thing we need to look out for is Tommaso Ciampa that I'm worried about. He's had 3 matches. I guess if you count the main roster match with The Miz. He's had 2 on NXT, and he's had 1 on the main roster with The Miz on SmackDown. How is Ciampa going to fare in this type of match, coming back from such a devastating injury and pushing himself as hard as he did to come back healthy 100%, to be put in that environment where you're putting yourself at the highest risk of injury? That's something that I'm going to be most worried about in this match, because when you enter that cage, you're not coming out the same. And the shit that's been done in that match, we've seen bloodshed, we've seen fucking some of the sickest shit in NXT to date in that type of match. Is Ciampa going to be able to survive 40 minutes of a WarGames match? I don't know. I don't know how WWE goes about booking it. I'm very curious to see what Dominik Dijakovic and Keith Lee and the chaos that they produce in that match for the first time. I think that's going to be awesome. But how are they going to protect Ciampa in this match? Who is the 4th man? And what is Undisputed Era going to do differently that we have not seen in the first 2 matches? There's a lot of different questions here revolving around the men's WarGames match. And after the women's ladder match on tonight's show, one has to worry about the safety of the women in the WarGames cage. I don't know. When you got combustible elements like fucking Mia Yim and Io Shirai risking their bodies in a ladder match just for the simple sake of first dibs in WarGames, what do you think they're going to do in the cage? You're going to see Io Shirai, no question, jump off the top of the cage with a moonsault. No question. Unbelievable. More attacks on the outside. Marina Shafir, Jessamyn Duke, and Candice LeRae were taken out. So not only were the baby faces taken out, but Jessamyn Duke, Marina Shafir, and Candice LeRae was taken out. Rhea Ripley and Tegan Nox, they were taken out earlier. This was something that was obviously building intrigue throughout the rest of the show. Scarlett Bordeaux made an on-screen appearance here on NXT. She was there just on her knees, just watching over Candice LeRae as she was knocked out. Triple H was even in frame. So when you know Triple H is there, business is about to fucking pick up. The fact that he was on screen in the middle of this storyline, you know something's going on. So with Triple H being there, I kind of got a sense it was not about WarGames, and that kind of gave it away. If Triple H is there, and he's worried about what's going on now after what has happened on the main roster, it's more than likely a main roster situation building towards the Survivor Series. So that's pretty much what I got from Triple H being on screen, and it was cool to see Scarlett Bordeaux on her first NXT program here with an appearance outside with Candice LeRae. Isaiah Scott versus Bronson Reed. This was awesome. Nice showcase match between these two baby faces. Isaiah Scott got the win here, and I'd love to see more Isaiah Scott. I would love to see him mixed in with the Cruiserweight Championship eventually. I think that would be awesome. And it's funny to me, man. It's so ridiculous that Jordan Miles did what he did, and a lot of people are saying, yeah, it's great that he's speaking up, and it's great that he's, sticking to his guns, and he's, being very prideful in what he believes in. Yeah, it's great. I'm not taking that away from him. And then he goes on and on and on to say that WWE is racist and this and that. We all know that Vince McMahon is racist. Vince McMahon is very discriminatory against, different backgrounds and people of color. You see it on the main roster. You see it in what he does as far as his mentality in producing and booking these shows. You see it as far as creative. That's nothing new. That's nothing new. To go out there and say that everybody in the environment that you worked in with NXT is racist is ridiculous. Keith Lee is getting a monster push right now. You got Isaiah Scott on television. Lio Rush is the Cruiserweight champion. They're all men of color, right? Bianca Belair has been a fucking staple in the women's division. She's a woman of color. So how is NXT? The Street Profits were tag team champions. They're men of color, right? So for him to go out there and say everything that, the environment I was in was racist is a little too much, because that's not true. I mean, the guy was brought in and was being groomed by Shawn Michaels. The guy was being just trained by some of the best talent in the world. Hall of Famers. The guy was put in a fucking tournament, and he was given the rights to win that tournament, and then given a world championship match. And he wants to go out there and claim racism against NXT and Triple H. Like, Triple H has done everything to help you. You were going to get a monster fucking push on NXT if you were only a little fucking patient. Look at what's happening now. Everybody from that tournament, Isaiah Scott, Bronson Reed, you got fucking Trevor Lee, Cameron Grimes, right? You got Garza. Everybody is being pushed. If you shut your fucking mouth and handle business, I'm not saying that you can't go out there and speak your mind, but do it in a professional fucking manner. Talk to these men behind closed doors and say, I'm not with this. I don't want this. This is not against, this is completely against my beliefs. This is not what I believe in. I think this is wrong. If you handled yourself in a more professional manner instead of going off the fucking wall and acting like you did, especially last night with a Instagram fucking live feed that he put saying, fuck you to everybody, I quit WWE, don't call me by that slave name anymore. I mean, if you handle things a little bit better, I think you would have been right in the same boat with everybody that came out of that fucking tournament that is being featured on TV right now. So, for the simple fact that they treated him bad, I don't think giving him a breakout win in the tournament is treating him bad. They wouldn't have given him that if they did not have major plans for him in NXT. And then give him a fucking title match. They booked him in a title match against Adam Cole. Could have been the Velveteen Dream. Could have been the Velveteen Dream at that point, who was the North American champion at that point. But they gave you Adam Cole instead. I think that says a lot about what they think of you, because they fucking love Adam Cole. Give me a break. Isaiah Scott, patience. He is being featured a little bit more on TV, and you're getting to see how great he is. I want to see more of him. These two work really good together. Bronson Reed is actually growing on me. He really is. I do want to see some more Dexter Lumis on TV. I think we need to start seeing him. I propose that we see more Dexter Lumis on TV. I have not really, I have not really seen anything like Dexter Lumis on NXT since we've seen Dexter Lumis. And I was so intrigued by what he brought to the table that I want to see more of it. So out of everybody in that tournament, Isaiah Scott stood out. Yeah, Jordan Miles stood out. Garza stood out. Dexter Lumis in that one match, even though he lost, stood out. I want to see more Dexter Lumis. Where's he? So, we're halfway through this thing. Swerve landed on his feet after a German. He went up, top, hit a forearm to the back of Reed's head, who was sitting on the top rope. Flatliner by Swerve, off the second rope for 2. Reed got to his feet. Swerve threw lariats, and he couldn't take Reed down. Reed threw one, obviously. It took Isaiah Scott down. He then hit a senton. Reed went up top. Swerve caught him. Swerve went up to the turnbuckle as well. Hit a hammerlock. Reed maneuvered Swerve upside down. Wanted a tombstone, it looked like, off the top rope. Swerve got out, and he hit a DDT for a 2. Both guys were selling on the mat. Swerve then worked on Reed's arm. Reed hip toss Swerve. Back elbow. Ran into a spine buster. Reed hit a huge Death Valley driver for a 2 count. Reed lifted Swerve for a jackhammer, it looked like. But Swerve got free, went for a triangle choke. Reed escaped. Reed then missed a huge bonsai drop, and Swerve kicked the back of his head and covered Reed for a 3 count. After the match, they shook hands and showed each other a sign of respect. And I like that NXT is giving these guys a segment on the show to shine. It's Bronson Reed, who's been featured, little every week. And Isaiah Scott, who's not been on every week, but I would love to see more of him. I think these guys, the more you see them, the more you're going to be comfortable seeing them, and the more you know, who they are. You're going to be fans of both of these guys. And I think that they're doing a great job with putting these guys in positions to grow. So I think it's awesome. And the 2 hours, like I said a couple weeks ago, Keith Lee is benefiting from it. Dominik Dijakovic has benefited from it. Scott is benefiting. Bronson Reed is benefiting. And a lot of those breakout guys are benefiting. So it's been really good. It's been really good. And NXT has been maximizing their 2 hours almost perfectly for the last couple of weeks. So I think at this point, I'm pretty comfortable with NXT being at 2 hours. So we got a promo from the Forgotten Sons. It shall remain forgotten. Pete Dunne versus Killian Dane. This might actually be a takeover match. I'm not really sure. I hope not. I hope that they save this for television because I don't really think this is a takeover worthy match. And I honestly think this is just Pete Dunne kind of floating in mediocrity right now. It's as if they want to push Pete Dunne, but they don't have anything for Pete Dunne to do, so they're just giving him Killian Dane and Damian Priest to kind of bide his time a little bit. So this was supposed to be Pete Dunne versus Killian Dane. Dunne entered the ring, and Damian Priest, out of nowhere, attacks Killian Dane during his ring entrance. He hit the ramp, laid him out. Dunne and Priest went at one another, and Killian Dane got into it. Obviously, he was not going to let this slide. So we got all the security guards out there. They tried to break it up. And then Dunne and Dane exchanged punches on the outside. Priest did a top rope step up, moonsault he does, senton over the top rope. Took everybody out. I believe he also, before that, he took one of the security guards and actually fucking razors edged him over the top rope and threw him on top of everybody. It was fucking crazy, man. So, I don't know what's going on here. This actually might be a one-on-one match at TakeOver, or it could be a triple threat match between all three guys at TakeOver. I don't know. I would actually save it for NXT TV. That's what I would do. I don't think it's really TakeOver worthy at this point. I don't think many people are invested in it. For what Pete Dunne is, I don't think many people are invested in it at all. Kathy Kelly interviewed Mia Yim. She said she had to look over her shoulder all the time. Excuse me. Leaving it in there. Leaving it in there. I can't wait to feel better, man. I hate when I have something that strains my voice or doesn't allow me to utilize my voice to its full potential. I hate being sick. I don't even know how I got sick. I really don't. I just hope that I get better by the weekend. I really do. Because I named my voice for Saturday for Hog. There was a knock on the door while Mia Yim was being interviewed. It was Dakota Kai who wanted to let Mia Yim know that, listen, there's no hard feelings. She said, if anything goes down tonight in the ladder match, I got your back. And that was it. Pretty straightforward stuff. So we got an announcement next week. There will be another ladder match. Maybe the men go out there and fucking bleed all over the place as well and kill themselves. Adam Cole, Dominik Dijakovic, they're going to battle in a ladder match next week for the advantage in the men's WarGames match. So there you go. I like that they're... Actually, I don't know how smart it is to put these men and women in ladder matches before they got to go into a fucking WarGames match, but I guess it adds, intrigue. Oh, look, a ladder match. Back-to-back weeks on television. Let me watch NXT. So they're obviously doing it for viewership reasons because who doesn't like a good ladder match, you know? So Dijakovic and Adam Cole in a ladder match next week should be great, and that's going to determine who gets first dibs in the WarGames match for the men. So we got the women going first this week. Mia Yim, Io Shirai, ladder match to determine which team gets the WarGames one-woman advantage. This was fucking crazy. Absolutely crazy. So, the beginning of this match, it was slow. Both women were really trying to jock for position, get the ladder. They were not wanting to let the other take advantage first with the ladder stipulation. So, we're halfway through this thing, and both are down. They're selling. Shirai set Mia Yim up on the second rope, went over with a head scissors, and she hit a 619. So they threw strikes back and forth. They got back to their feet. Flapjack by Shirai. She couldn't take advantage of that. Shirai got near the ladder, set up leaning the ladder on a turnbuckle. Mia Yim hit a belly-to-belly that was supposed to be I don't know what it was supposed to be, but it was supposed to be mostly the ladder hit, but it was Io Shirai hitting, it looked worse than what it should have been. Should have been Io Shirai hitting the ladder back first, but it looked like she fucking hit her arm, falling out of the belly to back on the ladder, and it just looked sick. It looked ridiculous. So the refs went to go check on her. Obviously, normally I don't remember seeing referees in the amount of referees I seen here. Now, I don't know if that had to do with the women or if it was just WWE just being extra precautionary here, but I always remember that there was only one referee outside for a ladder match. They usually just monitor, or one or two maybe. There was 3 referees outside here for this match. So the referees checked on Io Shirai. Mia Yim set up the ladder underneath the briefcase that was hanging above. But Shirai got to Yim. Yim threw some kicks, and Shirai hit a drop toe hold on Mia Yim. That sent her into the ladder. Shirai knocked the ladder over, set up Yim between the 2 sides of the ladder, and slammed one side down on her a few times. She left Yim in just a whole bunch of shit, whole bunch of trouble, and went underneath the ring to grab another ladder. Now, I don't know if that other ladder was damaged or if Io Shirai just wanted to add more punishment to Mia Yim. But Shirai checked the ladder to make sure it was good to go, so it must have been broken. Yim kicked Shirai down, got the new ladder into the ring. She lifted it up. Shirai hit a missile dropkick, springboard missile dropkick. Mia Yim took this new ladder, and she held it up. She wanted to blast Io Shirai with it, but Io Shirai jumped off the top rope, springboarded into the ring with her patented missile dropkick. She landed one of the most devastating missile dropkicks I have ever seen with this ladder that Mia Yim was holding. The ladder nailed her right in the fucking face, and as soon as Mia Yim went down, you seen drops of blood just splatter all over the ring. It's like time halted. It's like time stopped. Everybody was worried. Io Shirai was, trying her best to just play off the fact that, yeah, I took this bitch out. Commentary was very concerned. Referees put their gloves on. They were all attending to Mia Yim. This was bad. This was fucking brutal. I legitimately was sitting on my couch watching it this morning with my mouth dropped to the floor. I'm like, holy shit. And that wasn't even the end of it. So Shirai hit this missile dropkick, and Yim was bleeding all over the place. Shirai very slow. She set the ladder up. She made sure the ladder was safe. She was selling her injured arm that she injured or supposedly injured on the belly-to-back suplex before by Mia Yim. And as Yim was receiving medical attention, she was still in the ring. Shirai went up, and Mia Yim just pops out of nowhere. I'm like, this woman is fucking crazy. So my respect for Mia Yim at this point just went through the roof, because I don't know if she has a broken nose, if she was just badly lacerated that needed stitches. I don't know what happened, but she got up. She was obviously still bleeding. She went up there and caught Io Shirai as she was climbing up the ladder, pulled her down. Mia Yim went up, but Shirai hit a German on Mia Yim. Shirai kicked down the ladder and just went after Yim. Obviously, the blood is still flowing from Yim's face, and the two fought on the top turnbuckle. Shirai tossed Yim from the ring. Dakota Kai now. She sees Mia Yim on the outside, hurt and bleeding. She comes down, and she promised that if anything happened, she would be there to back her up. No hard feelings for taking the spot that I wanted at WarGames. So she's there. She came to the ring to check on Mia Yim. As Kai was helping Yim to her feet, Shirai hit a moonsault from the top rope and took out both Dakota Kai and Mia Yim. So after the moonsault, Shirai went back into the ring, set the ladder up to go climb up and win this thing. She climbed up slowly, still selling the arm. Dakota Kai then came into the ring, pulled Shirai down, and gave her a sit-out powerbomb. And she legitimately tried to help Mia Yim win this thing. She goes back outside. She rolls Mia Yim into the ring. Mia Yim starts to climb the ladder. NXT Women's Champion, UK Women's Champion, Kaylee Ray comes out, blasts Dakota Kai, throws her into the steel steps, head first, takes her out. She gets into the ring. Now, at one point in the beginning of this match, there was a ladder set up on the outside. I don't know if it was set up horizontally on the barricade or if it was just placed on the ring apron and the barricade, and it was just built as a bridge on the outside to use in a later spot. I don't know. I don't remember what happened. All I know is Kaylee Ray got into the ring after blasting Dakota Kai on the outside. She sees Mia Yim up top, and I swear to God, man, I have my hands covering my mouth and my face, and all I see is Kaylee Ray push this ladder over, and Mia Yim absolutely fucking clears the top rope, falls over the top rope from this huge-ass ladder, through the ladder on the outside, breaks the ladder outside in half, and I don't believe what I'm seeing. Mia Yim took a ladder in the face where she started spurting blood all over the place, and then gets back into the match to get this spot done to her. If you don't respect Mia Yim after this... Now, I had an issue with Mia Yim. I don't know if it was a character thing. I don't know if it was just being miscast. I don't know. I know I definitely made mention of her moveset not being intense enough. Man, I don't want to say I take back everything I said about Mia Yim, but that woman is one tough son of a bitch, man. Holy shit. Jesse, my buddy Jesse, texted me. He's like, when you watch the main event of NXT, someone legitimately died. And when he says that, I know it's a fucking big spot that is just absolutely insane. And I didn't know what he was talking about because I didn't read any spoilers. I didn't look at any fucking clips on YouTube. When I seen this shit this morning, I'm like, what the fuck? This woman is fucking crazy. Absolutely one of the toughest women in that fucking locker room. She went... The way she cleared the top rope was just, it was a thing of fucking beauty, but I was like scared for her fucking life. And then she crashes down below, clears the ladder. Officials just run over to her and take care of her. Io Shirai wins the match. Obviously, the heels get the first advantage in the WarGames match. Shayna Baszler comes out. Kaylee Ray apparently is added to the WarGames team. I don't know what decision or what sense that makes. I don't know how that came to be or why she was added to the match. I don't really understand it. It is what it is. But we got Kaylee Ray, Bianca Belair, Io Shirai, and Shayna Baszler. So that's that. So Shayna Baszler's outside on the ramp. She's clapping and just admiring her team and admiring the work that her team has done to give her team the one-woman advantage. And then out of nowhere comes Bayley and blasts Shayna Baszler with a steel chair, and then she drops Baszler on her face on the ramp, and then Io, Kaylee Ray, and Bianca chase Bayley away, and they come to Baszler's aid, and that's the way NXT goes off the air. Absolutely unbelievable. Unbelievable. I don't know why Kaylee Ray was added. Everybody thought that Dakota Kai was the assailant. Clearly, it was Bayley. And like I mentioned before, with Triple H kind of showing his face in that one scene, it wasn't about WarGames. It was definitely about Survivor Series. It was about revenge. And that was proven to be right at the end of the night because Bayley was the one who took out everybody in frustration. And being that everybody's kind of looking at Becky and Shayna and they're treating her as an afterthought in this match, Bayley took out every single female in that WarGames situation. And she said, you know what? You don't want to take me seriously? I'm going to show you something come Wednesday. And that's exactly what she did. So that was her motivation to come to NXT. And I love what NXT and WWE, I love what WWE is doing with NXT in the Survivor Series. I think with NXT being injected into the Survivor Series and how Survivor Series is kind of taking shape through NXT as well, it's so much more enjoyable and it makes so much more sense and it comes off as a little bit more real when NXT does it. when Monday Night Raw and SmackDown does it, I don't really have any interest. I really don't. But I love NXT's involvement in the Survivor Series, and I love the way that they've handled it on Wednesday. I think it's been great. And when everybody shows up at NXT, it just feels a little bit more important. When NXT shows up on the main roster, it's like, whatever. That's just the mentality of the main roster, because nothing is happening on the main roster right now that is even close to being exciting. But when everybody shows up in NXT, it's like, holy shit, this is a great moment. This is cool. So I'm loving the involvement from NXT in the Survivor Series. And I think without NXT in the Survivor Series is a complete missed show. It's not even anywhere near as important without NXT involved. This was a very good episode of NXT. It built nicely to the Survivor Series with the Bayley, mystery assailant angle that they built throughout the entire show. WarGames is being built. We got the announcement of Riddle and Balor. Take my money. We don't know what's going on with the rest of the card. Nicely done by NXT last night. I thought it was a great show. Another great night of wrestling on Wednesday night, but what else is new? And now we got to get ready for Friday, and then we'll be depressed and sad all over again. Thank you guys so very much, man. I'm getting out of here. I still have a lot of recuperating to do, but if you guys enjoyed this video, please hit that thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below. Let me know what you think of the Survivor Series build. Who is the fourth man on Team Ciampa? Hit that thumbs up, subscribe, turn on that bell. Make sure you guys follow me on Twitter at JD from NY206. On Instagram as well, same thing, at JD from NY206. Check out the other videos that you might have missed on the channel. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. And make sure you guys check out Audible as well. audibletrial.com/off the script. Thank you guys so very much again. Have a cold beverage for me. And I'll see you guys, I guess, tomorrow for Off the Script. I'm going to try and get Off the Script uploaded on Friday for you guys. Friday and Saturday this week. It might be the new days going forward. And I might just give Sunday myself to just rest. So let me know what you guys think about that. And then obviously I'll see you for Friday. SmackDown on Fox. I don't know what the fuck's going to happen, but I expect more Baron Corbin, and Roman Reigns. And please, I'm falling asleep already. I'll see you guys then.